Hello, thank you for stopping by. I'm so glad you're here for another random vintage recipe. Here's how this works. I have a little bowl here with several mini pieces of paper. On each piece of paper is the name of a vintage recipe from one of my various cookbooks. I will choose one at random and then make the recipe I choose. Will it be delicious? Will it be disgusting? Who knows? It's the luck of the draw. Let's go. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Better Homes and Gardens date orange bars. That sounds delicious. Definitely something I want to try, so let's find that in the cookbook. The Better Homes and Gardens new cookbook from 1979. All right, let's see. Orange date bars. Let's go to the back here. Date apple tort, date cake, date nut pudding, date orange bars, page 125. And again, it's one of the recipes that doesn't have the ingredients listed. It's just the directions, and you gotta extract the ingredients from it. It lets them put a lot more recipes in the book, but it's kind of annoying. So cream a 1/4 cup of butter and 1/2 cup brown sugar, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of grated orange peel, 1 cup of all-purpose flour. We're gonna need baking powder, baking soda, 1/4 cup of milk, 1/4 cup of orange juice, 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts, and 1/2 cup of chopped dates. So I have butter, milk, flour, eggs, and baking powder, baking soda. So what I'm going to need from the store will be brown sugar and orange to zest, orange juice, walnuts, and dates. Pretty simple, pretty simple. Okay, I'm going to head out to the grocery store, pick up these ingredients, and come back and make these date orange bars. I am headed to the grocery store, and it is 40 degrees out, and I don't know why 40 degrees on April 9th feels so cold. 40 degrees on January 9th feels like a nice day. I'll have the oven on when I get home, so that should warm things up a bit. I am back from the freezing cold trip to the grocery store. I got some brown sugar. I got some dates. I got just a little bitty thing of orange juice. I didn't want to get a full like 1/2 gallon or whatever size they come in because I'm fat enough already. I don't need all that extra sugar. Walnuts. And I got a couple of oranges. These organic blood oranges were on sale for 99 cents a pound, so I thought, okay, why not? I'll get those. And I already had eggs, butter, milk, and flour. I think that's all I need. Oh, baking powder, baking soda. Starting with a 1/4 cup of butter, which is a 1/2 stick, and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. We are going to cream this together until it's light and fluffy. Okay, this is definitely in the neighborhood of what we're looking for, so I'm going to add in an egg. And we need a teaspoon of grated orange peel. I just went ahead and grated the entire orange because it was a small orange. We're taking this and we're going to beat it well. Now we're going to sift together a cup of all-purpose flour. We got 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Whew. Then we're adding that into this mixture. We also need a 1/4 cup of milk and a 1/4 cup of orange juice. I was expecting this to be like a crust layer and then a filling layer, but this is just everything together, kind of like a blondie, maybe. So into this, it says to put 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts and some to grow on, and 1/2 cup of chopped dates. Ugh, these dates have pits. And they also have little like little nub things there. Let's chop these dates. If I were a proper YouTuber trying to get some actual views on this video, I would be making like organic, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, 3-ingredient date orange quinoa bars. Easy, healthy dessert. But unfortunately, I like recipes that taste good and actually work the way they're supposed to. So it could never be me. Mixing in some chunks, mixing in some chunks. All right, I got an 11 by 9 inch pan. That's not it. Way too big. I have an 11 by 7 inch pan and some butter and a paper towel. I'm gonna grease this thing up. All right, then I'm gonna put this in there. Why does it feel like this recipe is too easy? The batter is spread evenly in the pan here. The oven is at 350 degrees. I'm gonna bake it in there for 25 minutes. All right, that's looking tasty. Golden brown delicious. Y'all, I wanted to pop in real quick and apologize for the audio that's about to happen. It's gonna be real off for a couple of minutes and then it will be sorted out, I promise. I forgot to turn my microphone back on when I came back after baking and I'm gonna have to rely on the audio from my second camera. So it's gonna be kind of off and I do apologize. I'll try to fix it as much as I possibly can. Thank you for your patience. The recipe says to let these cool, but that is not my style. I'm going to try one while they're still probably too warm to be served. I'm also supposed to sprinkle the top of this with powdered sugar, but I thought I had some powdered sugar. Unfortunately, I don't. So I'm just going to skip that. Darn it. It fell apart a little bit. If I'd let them cool completely, I'm sure it wouldn't have fallen apart. It smells nicely of orange and baked goodness. That comforting smell of baked flour, sugar, butter, eggs. It's a unique smell and it's very comforting and the orange brightens it up quite a bit. So I'm hoping it tastes as good as it smells. It's tasty. I don't know how much I love it. The walnuts in there are nice and toasty and nutty. I love baked nuts. The issue I was having comes in with the dates. I did not chop them nearly as well as they ought to have been. When you get a really big piece of date, it is very sweet and it's sort of mushy and it kind of ruins the flavor and the texture overall. When you get bites that have smaller pieces of date mixed with the nuts and the orange loaf sort of flavor, those are great. I don't know if I'm going to put this into my rotation. I might not make it again. I don't know that the dates are an interesting enough. Oh my God, I don't have any sound. I am so sorry, y'all. This microphone here was not working. I'm going to have to hope I can get the audio off of my second camera and use that. And I know it's not going to sound great, and I do apologize for that. I'm going to try not to let that happen in the future. That is what happens when I try to rush. I make mistakes. Okay, so I was saying I don't know if I like the date flavor enough to make this instead of, say, a banana bread. I do like the flavor that the orange juice and the orange zest add to it, but I think I would like that flavor better in a banana bread, like an orange banana bread. That is all for today. This was a pretty straightforward, simple recipe. If you have liked this video, please give it a like. That helps more than you can know. If you want to see more and you have not already, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the future.